If you have one speck of enthusiasm for motorcycling, the howling heart of the FZ-09 gets down in your soul immediately and never lets go. Mere moments into our first ride on the bike at the San Francisco press introduction, I was screaming out of my helmet to one of the Yamaha executives riding next to me, "Long-term test mandatory." And here we are, wrapping up with 11,111 miles on the clock. The FZ-09 has been so many places in the meantime, grinding out daily commutes, long road trips, several track days, and many a back road thrash. But it wasn't perfect. Our main initial complaints related to abrupt throttle response and lightly damped suspension that also included two soft fork springs. We tried several potential remedies for fueling. First was a Bazaz C5TC, $849.95. It was pricey, but the EFI remap woke up power and improved, but didn't make perfect throttle response. Traction control and quick shifter were great bonuses. After many thousands of miles, we suffered from a nearly severed throttle position sensor wire because of low-cost wiretap connector provided with the unit. The Bazaz was removed and the wire soldered. We were ready to try our next EFI trick, though, so we ran a REFL-ASH factory ECU from FlashTune, $200 for mail-in service. We missed the TC of the Bazaz, but the reflash allowed fueling to be turned on where the factory originally had none, closed throttle above 4,500 RPM, which you can't do on a Bazaz or Power Commander. Further, fine-tuning of fueling and ride-by-wire throttle plate action resulted in the smoothest, most refined running of the test. Returning to the 2014 stock map, we then tried a G2 Ergonomics Street Tamer aluminum throttle tube, $79.95, that features a nonlinear cam profile to slow throttle action at smaller openings, leading to smoother pickup. It was, for some of our testers, transformational and for most did improve control of initial response. A Yamaha Tech Bulletin also allowed owners to get the much improved 2015 FZ-09 mapping free at their dealer. We have a 2015 in-house, and stock mapping in standard mode is excellent. We overhauled the suspension at Race Tech. Stiffer springs and a gold valve, $449.96, in the fork work with a replacement G3S shock, $749.99, and resulted in total transformation of handling. Ride is stiff, as we spec-D, but the bike is glued to the pavement and steers beautifully. In fact, on our final track day with the bike there were no complaints except lack of cornering clearance. "Made for great sparks and footpick feeler shrapnel flying off the bike," said one staffer following me for a few laps. We also left the SW Motec Bags Connection Blaze Sport Saddle Bags, $371.95, in place for that track day, which helped make the bike wider and harder to pass. In all seriousness, the super slick mounting system for these soft 14-liter each bags makes them easy to mount and remove and totally secure, even at triple-digit speeds. And they expand to 21 liters with a quick unzip. We dressed up the FZ with a few accessories. The first fly screen we tried was a beautifully machined aluminum piece from Rizoma, $184, which matched the company's 4D aspheric mirrors, $318, plus $24 for adapters. From the GYTR factory accessory catalog, we added sweet radiator covers, $120.95, switched to a bigger smoke tint screen, $142.95, gained a GPS mount, $58.95, to the bar risers, and an aluminum chain guard, $125.95. Wind protection from the bigger screen was better and also made reaching the FZ-09's odd ignition key location a bit easier than with the Rizoma. The last bid was an Evotech fender eliminator kit, $201.95, imported by Moto Performance. It's well made, straightforward to install, and allows for easy mounting of the stock turn signals. Two downsides: Installation instructions were poor, and a rubber cap on the seat release lock replaces the stock flip-up cover, which is mildly annoying when you want to remove the seat. Speaking of which, the stock seat sloped forward and wasn't too comfortable for more than a long commute. A Seat Concepts replacement cover and foam, $159.99, transformed the stock base with a much improved contour and density, and the price was great. The carbon weave cover we chose, among many options, looked good and worked fine if we were wearing denim or leathers, but any textile riding gear slid around like crazy. Seat Concepts says it now offers a new carbon style material without slickness issues. From a purely sporting perspective, our favorite setup was post-race tech/Bazaz/Dunlop Sporty Max Q3S, $390.04. Steering and front-end feedback were awesome, and you could rip it down to the apex in a slower second gear corner and fire out with the TC, making the exhaust pop while doing a leaned-over crossed-up wheelie. It was one of life's great pleasures. Our final set of tires were Continental Road Attack 2 Evos, $435.31, fitted at 6,430 miles and going strong at 11,000 plus. Front end feel was not quite as good as with the Dunlops, but the Contis worked great at our final track day and look like they'll outlive the admittedly sportier Dunlops. The Akrapovic Racing Line TI exhaust system, $1,239.95, is pricey, but build quality and fit, with thread locker and anti-seize compound included, are excellent. Its sound is mellow and rich without being too loud. The 3-outlet baffle is removable, but the bike ran so well with the remapped and stock fuel maps, we never bothered. The system is 5.2 pounds lighter than stock and added 3 HP to peak output while peak torque was about the same. Final numbers were 109.57 HP and 61.46 pound-feet on the stock map with the Akrapovic fitted. There were no repairs, and our only maintenance items were tires and oil changes. The rest has just been good times out on the road. The FZ-09 began as fun but flawed. While it still isn't perfect, and we spent a few bucks to get where we are now, there are few motorcycles that offer as much value as the FZ-09.